cooler.
Those are high pressure.
Very high, yeah, they've got some kind of compressor running.
Yeah, it's like 1,000 pounds.
Yeah, it's
Pressure or something.
so good.
Is it a similar menu as in Pine Grove?
Yeah, it's similar, yeah.
Great.
I don't think that they have all the soups now, but they have, you know, but they've got pad thai and they've
So it's
got,
not in the way.
It's just
have some of
running
the
the
rice
camera.
bowls and.
We're on camera now, you can wave.
So,
I
I
know.
think, you know, she'll,
I have to look that up.
Yeah,
change it up. When
Yeah.
it gets colder, probably soups will go back on.
yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, this is from Larry.
Yes, that was added at the end. Susan, do you have a packet? Do you have a packet? You want to pay for one?
If you have one.
We have an extra. I printed one for Joyce and she already had one.
Oh, I think that'd be great. Thank you.
You bet.
Yeah, just read it 10 minutes ago. Again.
Okay. Well, we have about 30 seconds here. Okay, it's 7 o'clock. City Council meeting tonight for Amador City is called to order. First on the agenda, we have a special guest tonight, Cash Anguez.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation of God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Cash. Okay. Thank you. And next we have roll call and establishing a quorum. Dave?
All right, thank you. Council member Tinian,
Here,
council member Bragstad.
Here.
Council member Cheryl.
Yep, here.
No, I'm sorry, I just said vice mayor Tinian. And then Mayor Staples.
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum. Time is now yours.
Thank you. So next on the agenda, we have approval of the city council regular meeting agenda for tonight, 18th of July, 2020. The major sections are public comment. There are no presentations tonight. Consent calendar. There are no ordinances tonight. Then the regular agenda items, and there are 5 of those, and administrative reports. And lastly, our future agenda items, and then the meeting will be adjourned. Is there a motion to approve the draft agenda?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the draft agenda by roll call vote since we're being videoed. Bruce, Cheryl?
Yes.
Okay, Susan? And
Aye.
and I. So it's approved as it stands. We're now open for public comment. Under provisions of the California Code, citizens wishing to address the council for any matter not on the agenda may do so at this time. Please submit a completed speaker submittal form. If we don't know you, we don't know everybody here. Comments are limited to 5 minutes or less, and speakers are requested to state their name for the audio record. Under provisions of the California Government Code, the City Council is prohibited from materially discussing or acting on any item not on the agenda unless it can be demonstrated to be of an emergency nature or an urgent need to take immediate action arose. I just want to remind folks to step forward to our faux podium, which is the blue tape on the line down by Katie's feet, so the microphone can pick up your voices. Is there any comment from the public tonight? Public comment closed. There are no presentations. Oh, there is one letter of correspondence, the letter of invitation to Cash Anguez. Cash's full name is Cash Jameson Anguez. I think it has a presidential ring to it. I rather like it. but he preferred that I not say his middle name, so I'll just so now that he's not in the room. Our consent agenda items, all matters under the consent calendar are to be considered routine by the city council and will be enacted in one motion in the form listed. There'll be no separate discussion of these items unless before city council votes on the motion to adopt, members of council, staff, or the public request items to be removed from the consent calendar for separate discussion. I'm going to begin the ask to remove. The fiscal financial statement is really part of the draft budget, regular agenda item 9A, so I would like that removed. Is there a motion to accept the consent agenda minus item 7B?
So moved.
And moved,
Second.
and Susan seconded. Roll call vote. Bruce,
Aye.
Susan,
Aye.
Anne,
Aye.
and so the motion is approved the consent calendar items are approved with the omission of item 7B. There are no ordinances. So we have regular agenda items to go to. There'll be 3 stages for consideration. The first of those is the item will be read, then the council person or the member or staff person who proposed that item will add details. Then it'll be open to the public for comment. Then it'll be open to council members for comment. And then we will discuss a motion and voting on it. So first item on the draft, on the regular agenda items is the draft budget for the fiscal year 2024, 2025. There is an attachment, a letter that I attached, just sort of an intro letter, which I don't need to read, it's just put into the record. Bob, did you happen to have a chance to read that? The letter? Then I will give you a copy of it. And then we have the fiscal budget, which colleague Brock will go over, and that's item 9A in our agenda packet. So he passes to.
Pat Keene isn't here tonight.
He's going to be, he was sent everything. He is, Pat's, the surgery was postponed and he said he would be here.
Something happened.
Maybe something happened. So. General public, we're going to pass over that in this particular case and go to Holly for additional details on the proposed budget and discussion with council. Would you like to move want to be up here, Holly, so you have a desk?
So that's what you said, right?
Actually, the other one.
What, that one?
Sure,
Oh, okay.
but we can bring a chair to the table for you.
Okay, so, this should be how we did it last year also. The, financials and proposed budget are in the same section. The columns that were highlighted in yellow is the sheet with the proposed budget for that specific fund. I'm not sure what more detail you want me to give other than that.
Read
I
that.
apologize to Councilman Cheryl, who just got it last night after we realized an email glitch, but
Oh.
Email is not.
at least you had a few hours, you know? So let me know if you have any questions on it.
Okay, I will defer to council members. Bruce, are there questions you have for Holly?
No.
The only thing I noticed was that big $68,000 bill for the sewer repair that Pat Keene is writing a letter on.
I'm part of it.
Sorry, so Susan, the letter was sent.
Oh, it was sent?
Oh, yeah, the letter has been sent. And we've yet to have a response. So as part of that process of the letter.
I'm glad
we have
that,
to give them a chance to respond to the letter.
yeah,
And in the letter, they were directed to contact Pat, so.
okay.
So you're talking about on the budget, the year-end budget, or,
Yeah,
okay. So I'm not sure what amount was put in that letter, but are you, the repairs and maintenance line item?
It was like 69,000.
So a lot of that was also the pump failures of the sewer. So that's not all from
So part of it was.
the other issue. It was our own stuff, pump failures and Band-Aid fixes until the new pumps were installed. And so there were a lot of expenses until those new pumps came. And then installing the new pumps and buying the new pumps and all that. So all those things together, yes, added up to a lot more than was expected for the year in that line item.
Okay, Ann, did you have any questions about the proposed budget? Bruce, you were still looking through. You have any questions for Holly about the proposed budget?
No.
How recently were the new pumps purchased? More or less. Probably 4 or 5 months
They
ago.
were probably installed February-ish, February, March, but they failed in, I'm gonna say like maybe late November or something. So there was a lot of Band-Aid fixes during that time, including paying Sweet Pea Septic to come do what our pump would normally do and stuff like that, and multiple times of that type of expense during that time.
So part of that too, we didn't just simply order pumps that were off the shelf, the pumps actually had to be made for our system.
Well, my big concern is we used to use water pumps instead of sewer
did.
pumps.
We have water pumps. So again, I know we've addressed this in the past. The
Yeah.
pumps that you are used to, that we've used in the past, are the pumps we have now. So we're back to that same pump. The style of pump didn't change. What it was is the pump that you refer to in the past, that's been in operation for many, many years. The way that it works, just so we go over this, is we have a 2-pump system. So there's a backup, and usually what happens is when one of the pumps goes down, it allows for that pump to be sent off and to be refurbished and sent back. They've done that many, many times. Do you imagine how much pumping that mechanism does with the revolutions? It just wears it out. But we got to the point where that pump had been rebuilt so many times, it just simply wasn't rebuildable. And that was the case with both of them. So in the end, we have 2 brand new pumps. And I believe, talking to Grant, that one of the pumps was semi-savable. And so that pump now stands as an extra and a backup for 2 brand new ones. Just so we don't have to run into the situation again.
Okay. Okay, is there any more discussion regarding the proposed budget? And again, it's a proposed budget. There will be and can be changes to this, of course, going forward.
Yeah, look good.
Okay. Holly, thank you so much for everything you did for this. It was a lot of work. So at this point, is there a motion to accept the proposed budget as offered?
So moved.
And a tie, okay, so, Ann
I'll second.
and Ann offered the motion. Susan seconded, so Bruce,
Aye.
Susan,
Aye.
Ann,
Right.
and so the motion is approved, the proposed budget is approved. Thank you so much, Holly. All right, item 9B, we have a resolution authorizing Amador City to place delinquent unpaid sewer bills on the 2024-2025 tax roll. And that is attached. It's something we do every year. This year, I asked Joyce today, I think, there were 12, correct? 12 possibly that were put.
Possibly, yeah, but a couple of them already contacted me. They had their sewer bills on automatic payment and never changed the.
Oh, they
automatic
didn't
amount.
change the amount, yeah.
So that was their issue, so they're gonna send in the difference, and I had plenty of.
So it's taken care of, but we nonetheless need the resolution. Resolution number 628 that authorizes us to place the delinquent amounts. And when is the date you need to send that in, Joyce?
August 10th, they have to have it over at the county.
So plenty of time.
I'm surprised we have to do this every year and not just do it once.
You mean, like pass the resolution
Mhm.
and.
We'll just adopt the system and instead of voting on it every year.
To talk to the guys at the county, but when they like, for years, we didn't. And then there was a new person in charge, and then all things changed. So it's been different ever since.
So, do we need the resolution read? Would you like to have a packet? A packet that has these things in it? A packet that has these items in it?
Sitting right by that machine.
Oh, no, I wouldn't want to.
I don't.
Good, you're good. Okay, so Bob Pinotti read his online out there, audience. Okay, so he is ready. So resolution number 628, is there a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
And roll call vote, Bruce,
Aye.
Susan,
Aye.
and
Aye.
so the resolution number 628 to place delinquent unpaid sewer bills on the county tax roll is approved. Item 9C, resolution number 629, authorizing Amador City to call for an election. I hand it over to Dave.
So just so everybody's aware of the resolution and we can read through it, essentially is our two council members and our mayor currently, our mayor and council member Cheryl are not up for election. And also our city clerk is not up for election. Susan, your position is up and your position is up. And then we have the open seat. So with that, the county requires that we submit a resolution and that information contained within. And so I've included in the packet this time, the letter we got from the county that gives the dates and deadlines. So for the two of you that are up for re-election, those dates, you should be aware of them to make the decision if you want to, again, file with the county and begin the process of election.
It said, the deadline for incumbents is July 3rd. What do we do about that?
No, I think it's into August.
Yeah, it's August 10th.
I saw July 3rd.
But that's on our part.
The city has to turn in their list of
We
incumbents.
have to do that, so. So what this is because the resolution came to us after that date. It came like the day before that, but because we don't have a council meeting every week or bi-monthly, then I talked to the lady in elections and said, just do it on your next council meeting. So again, I've already provided her with the information that's contained there. So in actuality, we've already submitted it to the county as the way that it stands tonight. This will just formalize it and I will send that off. So,
Right.
but again, you guys get to make that decision on if you want to hold these important positions going forward. But if you don't, it's a way for us to let the public know that these seats are available and that information will be sent out with the general information packet.
I will not be running.
Okay.
I'll bring candy to the meetings.
Yes, okay. Yes, I'm sure, Susan.
Well, Susan, you once asked about the filing, you mentioned the filing period
Yeah.
for new individuals who might be interested in filing. Then their filing period is July 15th, well, last week, to August 9th. Then that extended filing period, that one for incumbents who want to think about it a little longer, is August 10th through August 14th.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
So you have roughly a month. Right?
Yeah. okay,
And I won't be here anyway,
yeah.
even if I wanted to.
So again, Susan, at this point, given Ann's admission here that she won't be running again, it would be yours. Then it leaves the city with, at this point, 2 open seats.
Or 3.
Or 3. So, but again, we just simply need a resolution this evening, so we need you to make a motion and pass the resolution, just containing this is the information for Amador City moving forward.
Okay, so is there a motion to approve resolution number 629, calling for an election for Amador City?
So moved.
Second.
You were too slow, Bruce. It was your moment. Okay, so roll call vote, Bruce,
Aye.
Susan,
Aye.
Anne. Okay, resolution number 629 is approved. Thank you. Item 9D, sewer bill from Sutter Creek, and I know there's some updated information that Dave has. I included this as well as their letter that went out to residents of their proposed rates for sewer service charge. And then gave a little summary, in here. Their proposed sewer rate to residents is 45%, and that is what they've instituted. There's nothing in here about an entity. Will be a customer when ARSA is dissolved, but we would be an entity, not a resident. So they automatically upped our sewer bill about 67% based on a month-to-month basis. But Dave has been in touch with Sutter Creek and has some other information for us.
So I don't have the final information. Tom and I haven't been able to meet yet. So again, when I initially saw this, a 67% increase made my heart nearly stop. Because again, we're not currently in a situation where we have a contract. And again, there's no real purpose in forming a contract at this point because we don't really know what's gonna happen. So we'd be forming a contract with Sutter Creek, who then is taking over ARSA, as we're aware. However, at this point, ARSA has not been dissolved. And so the concern here and the possibility is, one of the reasons why this bill is so high is because they're simply adding the fee that we pay onto ARSA to the bill, which comes out to about $1,700 per month. We normally pay that on a quarterly basis. However, if they could start charging us monthly for that same amount. The problem is I don't have that answer from Tom yet. And so again, I'm gonna direct staff not to pay this bill until we get to the point where we know why. 'Cause again,
Unless there's a horrible penalty.
well, there's not, because again, they can't send us a bill with a 67% increase if they're not gonna itemize and give us notice why. And so again, the other part too is, as a customer, it would have been appropriate for Sutter Creek to reach out to us. Again, it's not like we're hidden. They know where we're at. They have
We've
our
had a lot
contact
of meetings
information.
with them.
Exactly. They have not given us a notice why our bill is increasing. And again, because we're a different customer than a regular sewer customer, you know, they're not required to do the 218 with us. But again, we're a partner in this. And the other part that goes along with this is if they're increasing our rate per their increase for their customers, that is also inappropriate because those customers, when their water goes down the drain, it has to be treated in their primary and then their secondary. Ours is going directly to the secondary. And so that again is a conversation that we should be having in negotiating a rate.
Our Amador City residents should not be paying Sutter Creek for primary treatment.
Exactly.
And we have made that point with them when we've been in meetings and a couple of different times. And I made it once at an ARSA meeting. I know you have made it as well, so.
Multiple times. So essentially it's just due to schedules.
So
Unfortunately, I haven't met with Tom to get those answers, but
I have a question. Did their sewer study, the Prop 218, the sewer study.
Mhm.
I mean, I saw the residential increases,
Yeah,
but as we're a customer now,
we should be entitled to see that information.
and have they codified how to treat us as a customer? We're not commercial, right? Different, I mean, I think that either should be in an ordinance and in the sewer study.
So again,
Their ordinance,
I
yes,
agree
yes,
with
so we
you.
have asked for the information, not received. it.
yeah.
And so it's literally a sit down to get that information and to say, we're not paying this bill until we see this information. Again, if we're worried about it, we can submit to them what we normally pay in the past. I can direct staff to do that if the council would like, because then again, we won't be delinquent. But it's my position at this point in my recommendation to the council that we not pay this increase until we see the difference. And I know in the past, the Amador City has taken this stance before, where they don't pay the increase until Sutter Creek can show the reasons why and give us proper notice and information. They have yet to do that. So I will just say, it did seem like in all of our meetings with their mayor and their city manager, that they were holding back on something and just weren't sharing certain information, and I think this is where the rubber is starting to hit the road, and that information they held back is the basis for this.
Well, and in one of those meetings, and Claire was here, Claire Gustafson was here, and then Tom Du Bois was here. You were here, David, and I, this was a discussion, and then Dave and I had a separate meeting again with them. And we asked for transparency and have copies of their sewer study report, which had not been done at that time, and they did not offer that. So I think we are well within our rights to ask for that information before paying the full bill.
Again, just as if any individual in Sutter Creek went to City Hall in Sutter Creek and asked for it, they have to provide it as part of the 218. Again, I know that we're a different customer than those regular individuals in Sutter Creek, but it's still information. It's a matter of public record.
Yeah.
And so at that point, again, it's time that they share it. And it may be as simple as just a misunderstanding or miscommunication, but I will figure that out and keep the council updated on that information.
So when we did our sewer study last year, we had to update our ordinance to clarify how we calculated commercial and multifamily.
Right.
And so that's what makes me think that as a class, we're a different class of customer than residential or commercial.
Right.
And so that should be, and probably in one of their ordinances, as well as their source.
Well, that's the thing that is most disconcerting is we were not included at any point along in those discussions.
Yeah.
In the 218, every citizen, every customer should have the right,
Yeah,
as you and I learned, and
yeah.
to have those open discussions before it becomes final.
We never got a letter for their
We
public
never
hearing.
got anything. So again, we had a lot of communication from the city of Sutter Creek regarding the fact that they were taking over ARSA, but there was never a discussion about their sewer rates or what they were planning to do as a sewer entity themselves. So that information needs to come forward to us so we can make an appropriate decision.
I have another gripe, which I think I've brought up in the past. We were part of ARSA, and we were part of that loan, the 450,000, which is now 600,000 in Sutter Creek's banking account, and we're not getting a dime back.
They're not.
They're just taking all the money to themselves. And it just seems like we should have a little bargaining power with that.
That part's over.
Again,
Turn to Bruce on that. He's our representative to ARSA. It's over.
They don't have any money.
Yeah.
Well, they owe us money. It doesn't seem fair that they get to do that
Maybe we-
and to say that they don't have it anymore. Just,
well, Susan, I'm with you on there. I don't think, again, like I said, it feels like there's a little bit of information that's just not being shared across the board. But again, to your position, the one place that concern of yours to be addressed is in the voting power that we had as a board member to not go forward with the dissolution. But again, just the politics of it, or that we didn't have the authority or the power to dissuade that vote because others have voted. So unfortunately, Susan, that issue at this point is dead on arrival, dead on the table, because that decision's already been made. Agree with it or not, Susan?
I won't give up.
Okay.
Never give up.
But Dave, what you're suggesting is we pay them just the normal.
That's what I think we should do, because then we're not delinquent, but I say we don't pay, if we don't pay anything, then we're delinquent, but pay the amount we paid in the past.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's gonna send our shot across the bow, as it were, over the hill, to say, hey, you want the rest, guess what? You need to have that discussion with us.
Is this satisfactory with the discussion, or do we need a motion to that effect?
Again, that's my recommendation to the council, so I will leave that up to the council to
Make a
act
motion.
upon that, so.
Okay,
No,
so,
we paid two things. We paid 18,000 to ARSA, and then we paid 3,200 a month to Sutter Creek.
Right, well, here's the deal, we don't owe anything to ARSA until next month. Because our quarter ends in July, and so if they're already tacked on an additional, so let me put it this way. If we have the base sewer fee. And they're including their now new ARSA fee, which we normally pay on a quarterly basis. And they're moving to a monthly, we still don't owe that amount until the end of July.
Yeah,
because we've already paid it. So that's why my recommendation is, now again, it may be that this fee that they're charging does not include that ARSA fee. And this is the price they're going to charge us month in and month out for sewer services, which then we need to figure out why there's a 67% increase, because we haven't increased our flow by 67%. Now, I understand some movement in prices and fluctuation, but 67% is outrageous. And so that's what we're up against. If it's an increase in total, it's one thing. If it's ARSA also included, we've already paid it, and that this month's bill would need to be reduced. That's a discussion that I would have with Tom and Sutter Creek. So my recommendation at this point is we pay the amount of every previous bill until we figure it out. If they are owed it, then we will cut them the check. If they're not, we'll go into negotiations and figure out why they're asking for this amount, and then go forward with whatever policies, procedures, and potential steps we need to take. And I won't leave off the table, including litigation if we have to.
Okay, so is,
can I make a motion?
you bet.
Okay, I'd like to move that we authorize payment of our current amount on the sewer bill, and also empower our city manager and mayor and possibly attorney, possibly ARSA representative, former ARSA representative, to meet with Sutter Creek to determine the validity of the bill that they've presented us with.
So the motion has been offered. Is there a second?
Second.
Susan, you got to give Bruce a chance someday.
Were you gonna second it?
No.
You're just so quick. Okay, so the motion to pay Sutter Creek an amount based on our previous months of this quarter, and to set up a meeting with the appropriate and individuals from Amador City and Sutter Creek to get information regarding how the fee is constructed, the sewer study, and so on. So on that, Bruce, Susan, and motion is approved. So that's what we'll do going forward. Item 9E, update to the status of City Hall, the old schoolhouse. Larry White's not here tonight. He's got a new granddaughter. Her name is Austin Sutter Hernandez. And I saw a picture today and she's beautiful. So in Larry's absence, he is working with the insurance adjuster to get permission to move forward. So, and once that happens, the plan is to go to bid early next month. That would be August. And there are 3 contractors that have, 2 have expressed an interest, and 1 is pro forma. 1 is the one that did the remediation. So 1 request for proposal will go to that person. LGM and Jackson, who just did the Plymouth Firehouse, also has expressed an interest if they have time. And John Allen in Calaveras County, who has done work in Amador City before, expressed an interest, again, if their schedules allow. Once those bids come in, they'll be evaluated, and construction will begin after that. The plan is to have the roof weather tight in mid-fall so indoor work can continue as the weather becomes less friendly. And that's all that I have from Larry. Okay.
Also, I would exclude from Larry, in submission to the insurance company, there was the discussion of, do we need 100% or will 90% suffice with where we're at? And the insurance company said they would prefer 100% completion with all the plans and everything in the works, but said they would be okay with the work beginning at our 90% of completion on our part of getting bids and diagrams, and plans and all that. So at this point, given the amount of time since the actual event, the plan is to move forward.
Good, thank you. Okay, so that's just a report. So with that, there are administrative reports and comments. First to our city manager.
So first and foremost is the creek cleaning, which I think Mr. Finotti is here for. They have cleaned essentially the east side of the creek. We'll just say that because of the bridge, we'll make that the delineating line. They did that the first Saturday. which to be honest, I was amazed that they did that heat, but they have been able to clean up the bank and remove all the debris. They didn't come last Saturday, again, I think because of heat. And so it's my understanding that they will be moving forward and down on this other side of the creek. They just, again, I worry about at 110 degrees having individuals, even if this is something they do on a regular basis out in the heat. So the plan is to have it done by the end of July.
Okay. Thank you.
We did start at 5:30 in the morning. Our bedroom window's right on, right on the creek, so we were.
Yeah.
But we did, so just so everybody's aware, we did talk about this in the last meeting. It is and is being paid for by our SIRA funds to reduce liability to the city. So as we've had many discussions, including those by our fire chief, to point us in the direction that this is the most wise and prudent move that we can do to protect the city from fire. Because in the past, fire has used that as the corridor into Hanover City. So we know that there's of course all sorts of threats from without and from within, but that is the most crucial one and probably the easiest one that we can address. It doesn't affect, for the most part, private property rights, as you know, we've talked about ad nauseam. So that should continue, and by the end of July. But I think to Mr. Pinote's concerns, it should be addressed. They have been directed to go the whole length of the creek as long as it's in the confines of the city limits. It should be clean. And the debris removed. That was the big thing too.
Yes.
We paid an extra sum to have them haul off the debris. So which is something we didn't do last time, but we are doing this time. Sorry, Susan. You have a
No,
question?
I talked to Sutter Creek about how they clear their creek.
Okay.
They work with CAL FIRE. And I talked to Claire, the mayor, and she said they save a lot of money going with CAL FIRE.
Well, and that's definitely something, again,
Next year.
next year, we can address that. And the other part too is we can look at having bids if the amount exceeds a certain amount. The point was, this is important for us to get it done this year. We have that allotment from Sarah. We had to meet a certain deadline to get that approved by Sarah. We've done that. And so again, we can look at the procedures and policies that we've used in the past to do it, and we can shore those things up and potentially look at our other community partners who may be able to help us in doing that. So the other thing that I've had to deal with along with the mayor is we've had issues with our patios and our sidewalk dining permits. So again, we had a situation where it had yet to be approved, what was being utilized. So many hours have been spent dealing with those individuals and making sure that not only we have the appropriate information, including insurance information, but that other guidelines are being followed, such as ease of access for individuals who are not frequently in the business, but simply trying to just get through on our Amador City sidewalks. So those issues have been addressed. So, and then of course, just the routine stuff that I'm working on, nothing more than that to probably report to the city, unless you have some specific questions for me.
No, thank you, Dave. We know that Pat has, in terms of Pat's not here tonight, but we do know that the letter was sent about a month ago, I believe, 3 weeks.
About 3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks. So he'll have some information for us in the future.
And do we have a copy of that letter?
I do.
For you, I have the draft
Mhm.
we sent.
Yeah, that's what I have as well. In terms of, well, to follow up on the sidewalk dining permit, just that it has been made a digital fillable form and it will be put online. So in the future, people can fill it out online, submit it online, and then the records of approval will be able to be put into that permit application online. So there's that. And
What's that for?
we're getting all of our permits put into a form online so it can be filled out electronically. Okay, and get them posted on the website. And that is one of the ones that's ready for that. The only other thing is this nice letter I got from Animal Control that they have not yet had to pick up any animals from January through June 30th of 2024, so that we are not being charged anything by animal control at this time. So Larry sent the permit log, which is attached and up to date. Are there requests for future agenda items?
You didn't do city council member reports.
Didn't do city council member reports. I am so sorry, Bruce. Thank you.
ARSA canceled,
ARSA canceled.
Yes.
That is such a surprise.
and the Air District is canceled also. Neither one.
It's July.
Maybe they're just trying to stretch it out, so we'll have to pay.
Probably.
But I would like to mention one thing. Diane from Acro was here the other day, Monday, cleaning up down here
Oh, good.
Oh.
at the playground. Well, the walkway was impassable. And I didn't realize it. And has anybody looked out over here on our north side of the building?
Yeah, it looks clean.
No, it's a disaster.
Beyond the courts.
Between us and Church Street,
Oh,
Yeah, there's a lot of debris up there.
I mean, a lot.
Debris from,
fallen
Dead
limbs.
dead
and stuff.
trees, you know,
is that debris part of what, the fire department was going to use? I mean, probably not burning it now, but they were gathering some of that stuff to take care of it. The tree.
They were
Is that-
going
Is
to.
that from them?
Some of it is.
So again, they had offered to do that, but it's contingent upon their schedule. And it would seem to me they probably didn't get to it before the weather now, and we don't want them burning anything now.
no,
So,
they could chip it.
well, that was the other part too, they were gonna use their chipper, but they might not even be using a chipper in these temperatures.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I think we should talk to Dominic, because I'm surprised our insurance company hasn't said something. I mean, it's
well, I can
just,
take a look, I mean, worst case scenario is we could have it, we could arrange to have it hauled over to Southern Creek. And put it in chip over there, so.
I think that's a
know a guy
good
with a
idea.
dump truck,
I thought you gonna load the dump truck.
guy with a dump truck.
Okay, so I'm gonna put a note that you'll follow up on that one. Okay,
So,
okay. Anything else, Bruce?
no,
Susan, oh, I'm sorry. You were thinking.
no,
Okay.
that's all I had.
Susan,
No, Bruce and I are working on sewer independence, treating our own sewage and looking at options of what other towns do.
did Bruce tell you about a field trip?
Well, yeah, I mentioned going up to the city. It's the city,
Etna.
Oh, yeah.
it's up by Oregon border.
Mhm.
They use only ponds. It's a city of about 700 people.
350.
Well, no, it turned out to be 700.
Oh,
700.
wow.
350 houses.
Yeah,
Okay,
Um,
okay.
But what's their, I mean, what's?
they use
what's-
ponds.
I understand, but what's their what is the geography of those, is it similar to ours?
no, it's a little flatter. They're in the hills. They're west of Highway 5. So, you know, they are in a bit of a valley, so they probably have a little more property
Sure.
to deal with. But, they also have more people.
Sure.
Yeah, fewer people. And I just think it would behoove us to look in, well, Arcata is another, you know, I mean, there's 17,000, but they do everything with ponds. They start with polishing tanks, and then it goes directly to the pond.
So do we, I mean, it is beyond the scope, but maybe this is what we need to find out. Could you take their system, especially if it's similar, and put it in the property we own? Or have the city be able to find a spot that we can do that?
I think the city would have to acquire some property.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have any more property beyond the pond. It's my understanding.
Yeah, Etna's square footage in terms of the city itself is about ours. It's less than a square mile. It's like 0.8. but they are using part of, what is it? There. Some other land, part of some other land adjacent to the
So they have
town.
an easement on someone else,
That's, we don't know that.
Forest Service.
or did they take it by eminent domain?
Don't know. That's a good question.
It could be Forest Service.
Well, and entities like the Forest Service or private property, they'll lease those spaces if you wanna, right? Do something like that, okay.
So some stuff to look into. And
I went to LAFCO today, probably around the September frame. They will vote on, consolidating, the Lockford Fire Protection District into the Amador Fire Protection District. So, and it also seems the president of the Lockwood Fire Protection District attended, and she said that, you know, and like last spring, there was a considerable opposition, but the opposition seems to have died down quite a bit, that they're now, most people seem to be supportive. So that.
I can add to that slightly. I can speak of it now because it's published and it's out. It's been distributed publicly and at the Board of Supervisors. But the grand jury report, of course, looked into this. That was a complaint that came to us this year. And they found that the Amador County Fire Protection District followed all of the rules and regulations, and there was nothing amiss.
Good. And then, as far as the park goes, last month, you remember that we were waiting for a day to do the striping and submit our final report to the state for reimbursement. We were waiting for the overnight temperatures to be suitable and everything to be dry. And now this month, we couldn't do it either because the temperatures were too high. So I've talked to both Holly and Dave, and I'll be gone all month. So hopefully we'll get it done and we'll have it done by next meeting.
Right, so temperatures next week, we're supposed to go back up in the weekend and then come back down. And so it may be ideal for Campbell to come and do the striping and just to get it done. So,
I really liked what Larry had to say about it. He said they couldn't do the painting because the paint would dry before it hit the pavement. And it wouldn't stick because it was so hot. So, well, thank you all. Then you have a copy of the permit log and requests for future agenda items. Is there anything to be added at this point? We've got a month to go.
I do think if the park is completed, we may need to have a resolution of completion. And
Okay,
I think Dave is looking into that.
yeah,
got it. Is there anything else to add at this particular point? Okay, well, on this hot evening, I want to thank you all because we've had a meeting that we finished in under 50 minutes.
Yay.
Yay. So there's no closed session tonight. Is there a move to adjourn the meeting?
I'll approve.
Bruce, moved. Is there a second to adjourn?
Second.
All right, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you all very much. Bob, thank you for coming.
Okay.
what's that?
He is,
Yeah, he owns right on Main Street.
Yeah, right on Main Street there.
Yeah,
In the ball house. And
yeah.
rest of the-
okay, let's see. Yeah.
See you in a month.